Hello everybody. I want to do a quick video on how to prime the oil pump on a Gravely Model L tractor. Now this is a question that comes up quite frequently, and I know there's several different ways to do this. The most common way that I've read is to pull the cover off of the oil pump and pack it full of Vaseline. I'm sure that works quite well, but it's pretty labor intensive. And let me show you exactly what all's involved if that's the method you choose. So your oil pump is tucked back in here, right there behind your pulley. So what you'll have to do is you have to remove your fan belt, you have to remove your pulley. If you have an electric start machine, you have to take the starter clutch off too. There's a lot of things you have to remove off the back of the tractor. Then you have to take the cover off of the oil pump, pack your oil pump full of Vaseline. If you happen to break the gasket off, you have to put a new gasket on, bolt it back together, put everything back on the machine, hope you got it right, because if you didn't, then you got to take it back off and do it again. So the way I'm going to show you involves none of that. The only thing you are going to remove from your tractor is you're going to disconnect the end of whatever oil line is coming out of your oil pump. The only equipment you're going to need to do this is just a few little items. You're going to need a veterinary syringe. I got this at my local Farm and Fleet. You can pick these up probably at any ag store. I'm sure Amazon sells them too. I bought 2 of them. Here's the packaging. The one I prefer is made by Ideal Instruments. It's their 60 milliliter syringe. The reason I like this particular one is because this end on it fits nice and snug inside a 5/16 ID rubber tubing. That's the exact size little chunk of tubing you're going to need for this particular method. And I'll connect the tubing onto the syringe with a hose clamp, tighten it up with a little socket. You're also going to need a 1/2 inch wrench to disconnect that oil line on your tractor. So now that we've got everything we need, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to slide our rubber tubing over the end of the syringe. We're going to put our hose clamp on, and we're going to tighten this up just so we get a good seal on the syringe. Now it's important that this is 5/16 inner diameter hose because it's going to fit perfectly over the little compression fitting on our oil line. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the oil line that comes out of the pump. We're going to disconnect the far end of that line. On a high volume oil pump, this line should hook up to your oil filter. On a low volume pump, it's going to hook up to a T-fitting on the side of your crankcase, so you'll have to take your air intake off to do that. So we unscrew this fitting, slide it down. You see the little compression fitting? Your 5/16 rubber hose makes a nice tight seal right over that. Now, this is a project tractor I bought about a month ago at an auction. I don't think this has ran in several years. I did rebuild the carburetor, but then I bought another machine to work on, and this project has been kind of tabled, which is to say, I am pretty sure that that oil pump is empty. So I'm hoping there's oil in this, but we're going to see how long this takes in real time. So you've got the syringe closed, and you're just going to apply suction to the syringe, and you'll see it'll try to pull itself back in. That's when you know you've got good suction. And when it's not pulling itself in much anymore, slide it off, close your syringe up again, slide it back on, and do it again. And you see, I got oil that came out of the line. So now I know I've just sucked oil out of the crankcase, or out of the transmission, through the oil pump and through these lines. So now I know that oil pump is primed. At this point, I'm going to make a little bit of a mess when I disconnect that syringe. So I'll get some paper towels, pull this apart. It didn't make as much of a mess as I thought I would. You can see this oil is really dirty in this machine, so I would never run this without changing it. That oil is, gosh, that could be as old as I am. Now you're just gonna reconnect your fitting. Always make sure you don't over tighten these. You torque on these fittings too much and they will break. So just get it moderately snug, and that is it. Your oil pump is primed, and as soon as you start that engine, you're gonna get immediate oil flow. You won't have to worry about starting up your engine dry with no oil. Thanks again for watching. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you on the next episode.